Hello, Cancer. Thank you for tuning into your love read. Yes, your love read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Modern Spellcasters Tarot by Melanie Marquis, illustrated by Scott Murphy. For the support of Oracle cards, the Angel Answers Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. I apologize for the voice. It's been a couple days. It's not stopping. So instead of not uploading any videos, I'm just going to do my best and hopefully you guys can hear me. Relationships first half, single second half. Oracle cards come out where needed. It takes me a minute to remember what I'm going to say sometimes. Cancer. It's a fun little, I don't know. Face down card. That's fun. Okay. We got 4 Oracle cards. Now, Cancer, when we're coming into this, something's going on in the sense of like, I'm getting first your partner's feeling backed into a corner. And there's something going on there where they're feeling like they have no choice but to handle a situation a certain way. Now, I'm getting like this panic feeling. I'm biting my tongue, that's great. So I have a messed up voice and I'm biting my tongue. Woo! It's great reading. They're feeling backed into a corner and like they don't have a choice. But I'm also getting like this panic feeling, like there's like, you know, when you're really pushed and your options seem very narrow. I hope this makes sense. Because I don't feel like the truth is they only have so many options, but because of how it's being pushed, the kind of the panic feel they have, they're seeing it as if they only have a limited amount of options. In retrospect might be, you know, what did it say, hindsight's 2020? They may have one of those moments later, but at the moment this is happening, they feel pressured, they feel boxed into a corner, they feel like they have limited ways to handle this, and they're just reacting quickly. Okay. I feel like the whole point of this is for you to realize that they may be making a less than favorable choice here, and I feel like you might be looking at it like they could have made a lot better decision, but I feel like if you just take into account that they're feeling boxed in and they're not seeing all the angles, even I feel like you might even be saying things to them, but they're not catching it all because of that panic feeling. That's why this seems to be kicking off, because whatever they're doing, I'm getting your first reaction to this is the Ten of Swords. You're very unhappy with it. I'm getting this doesn't make sense to you. You don't see this as like the right way to go about this. But again, I'm seeing your partner's feeling very boxed in. They're not seeing all these options. They're just kind of having that freak out energy. Even if you're presenting good options, they're hearing it with a limited connection. I almost feel like they've already predefined what's possible to fix this or to handle this. And unless you're matching what they've predefined in their own mind, it's not really, like you're saying things, they may understand and acknowledge the words, but it's not really sinking in. It's not really making an effect. Even if you're screaming it at them. And sometimes when you scream at somebody, the less they actually hear you, because all they get is like the upset, like I want this to stop, or they're pushing back with the same upset energy. I feel like the biggest part with this whole reading, I'm getting this is the most important part, is to realize that your partner is I feel like they're making a less than the best choice here, but it's freak out energy. It's freak out energy, and they're not in a place where they can really think things out. That's not really happening. It's just freak out energy. I don't know if that's making sense. I hope, like, leave me a comment if you know what I'm saying, or maybe somebody else may need to read your comment if you understand what I'm saying. I feel like this is the most important part to understand, that your partner's going through this like freak out moment. It's just not happening. Like, I feel like this person would normally make better decisions. Just right now, there's a lot of pressure. Even if they're like under the weather a little bit, sometimes when people are under the weather, they make less than the best decisions because, you know what I mean, they're physically drained, they're trying to push forward, you know what I mean? I feel like there's something going on here where they're just feeling that pressure. Now, as this goes forward, I'm seeing what the problem is, and we'll start with yours first. The Tower. You were not expecting your partner to do this. Now the tower typically breaks down a situation, rebuilds it stronger. It's typically very scary, sometimes very painful, sometimes very devastating, which you have the 10 here right before it, so I can understand where that would be where you're standing. I'm also getting kind of like, it's just the fact that it's devastating to you is how the tower is coming into existence. That's the shock of this, because you're feeling it's a really bad decision. You're surprised your partner's making this decision. You're not happy about it. Your partner, what's causing them problems? See this? Did I touch on this? Okay, well enough. Your partner has the Hanged Man. Now your partner, they really feel like they're stuck, and I feel like it's still like, I almost feel like they're having this follow through moment. They feel like they have to follow through with what they started or how they decided to handle this. It's almost like to them the ball is in midair. Like if you're playing catch, the ball is in midair. Like it's really like extreme challenge to stop it once it's in midair. So the way they're looking at it is like the ball has to land before another decision can be made, and they're seeing it through. This is what's causing them problems, because I feel like they're starting to realize fairly quickly that this maybe was not the best choice, but they're feeling like they have to wait for the ball to land. This isn't their challenge, because I'm getting like, this may be true. This may be true that they have to wait for the ball to land, but I feel like, excuse me, I feel like what they could do is they can start talking with you. They're not completely helpless, because I feel like they're looking at it like they have no choice. They have to wait for the ball to land. Hopefully that helps. But until, like, they're reserved to this thought, like until it lands they can't really do anything. I don't feel like that's the actual truth. I do feel like they have to wait and see it through, but I feel like they could start mending fences prior to that. I'm getting they won't, though, because they're looking at it like that, but that'll cause more damage, that'll cause more confusion. I feel like that's why the Hanged Man is here. That they're looking at this, not only is the ball in midair, but if they start, manipulating or changing things or talking things out before the ball is landed, it can make the situation even worse than it already is. So I feel like they're not going to, but this is like the challenge for them to see that through. And to, I feel like the more they're waiting for it to finish off, like I'm getting some remorse. I'm getting remorse because I don't feel like they like the decision afterwards either. As the panic and as the like this survival energy passes, I feel like they're looking at the situation a lot more broad. They might be like, I feel like this is one of those situations where after the fact, they might be remembering what you said, and it's kind of starting to like filter in, because they do listen to you. They do, but I don't feel like at the time it was really filtering in. It wasn't landing. So you're in this moment of shock. They're seeing it through. These are both in your challenge spots. The Hanged Man for them, the Tower for you. Because I feel like there's kind of like a stalemate feeling here. I feel like I don't feel like there's a lot of communication. I feel like there's a lot of hurt feelings here. Definitely, I feel like you have hurt feelings. But I also feel like they're upset because they're getting it after the fact. And I feel like it's one of those things where like, I feel like they're waiting for it to land so that way they can talk it out but also correct it. Because they're feeling like if they start this situation too early, it'll make more of a problem. And they do want to fix it, but they're like, I don't want to start fixing it until I can actually do something about it. For whatever that's worth, that's what's kind of coming through. Not saying it's right or wrong, I'm just saying that's what I'm getting. Because I feel like I'm getting that this is really hard for both people going forward. Like as that ball's in the air, I'm getting both people are having a really hard time with this. Now, the ball lands. Okay. So in other words, whatever the decision was that was made, it came to fruition, whatever that means for you, your situation. Now, is it them first? Okay. Here we go. Now, this is a response to, like, as it was in the air, they were thinking it over. They were realizing, hindsight's 2020. Here's we go. Hindsight's 2020. That wasn't the best way to work it out. So I got the Page of Swords with the Compromise. Now, the Page of Swords, like, this can be a good energy. It can be a not so good energy. It depends on how it's hitting, of course. I'm getting that they're kind of working around the system here. Like, I feel like they're talking to people around you. I feel like they're trying to work. They're trying to work it out. That was really weird sound. Okay. Like I'm like, all of a sudden, it just like, I swear, it's like somebody turned off the lights. It was weird. So can we bring it back here? The Page of Swords is definitely, like, they're working around you. They're trying to see how you're really doing. I feel like they're aware of the damage, the emotional damage they've done. And I feel like they're worried that they're not going to be able to really explain what happened or why a decision was made. I'm getting like there's a nervousness here. Like they really don't know how they're going to justify what happened. Not in the sense of it was the right decision, but justify it in the sense of like this is why that happened. I feel like they're having a hard time with that. And that's why we have this Page of Swords going on here, because they're trying to get like an idea of how you feel, and I'm getting like there's things they're trying to make things better for you, but they're doing things around you. They're trying to like, it's almost like you're driving down a road and they run ahead and they've like paid for your coffee, so that way when you go to pick up your coffee they're like, oh, it's already been paid for. Or like you're going to the grocery store and they already have everything all bought and you just got to pick it up. Like, I don't know, that's kind of a weird, I know, but like they're doing things like that. Like they're setting things up so your life is easier. They're doing things ahead of you to like show you that they feel bad about how that worked out. They're trying to show you that they care, but they're afraid you're not going to understand like where they were mentally. And they're feeling kind of like, I feel like there's a lot of like, they're trying, this is what the compromise is. They're trying to like soften you up to like be more conducive to hear them when they try to explain. And I want to use the word justifying, not the decision, but how it happened and why they did that, like how they were feeling, so you can understand like what happened, what was going on in their head, how they were feeling, and why it happened the way it did. Because I'm getting like there was a panic feeling here, and I don't know if that seems like that's justified or not to you, but I feel like they need to tell you that, but they're not expecting you to understand for whatever reason. But they're trying to soften you up because they're thinking if they get on your good side, you'll hear them, and they could try to work it out. Because I'm not seeing you really like, I'm not seeing argument cards on your side, I have to be honest with you. I am seeing the Queen of Cups on your side towards your partner, which I do feel, except for the Page of Cups, you have all the Court of the Cups out here. Excuse me. Excuse me. When I see the Mother of Cups, Queen of Cups, I'm getting, you definitely love your partner. I don't believe that would be a question. But you might be kind of like holding back. And I feel like you're watching your partner. I kind of feel like these little things your partner is doing for you, that's making you feel better. Like you're realizing like they want to talk and that they're aware that they hurt your feelings or that they're aware that they definitely upset you. That's making a difference. It's actually having a good effect. I also get that you're very devoted here and you're very kind of like looking at the situation, like you're seeing your partner do these nice things and you're kind of wondering where this is going. I feel like you're kind of almost dreading, really? I feel like you're kind of maybe dreading the talk you're expecting to come because you're wondering if you're just going to actually end up in a fight over it. Because you were hurt. It did hurt your feelings. That was not a little thing to you. And you're just not sure what's going to happen. You realize they want to talk. You realize they're aware that you're upset, but you're not sure where. Like, are they going to justify the decision? Is that what's going to happen, or are they going to like what? Because the decision seems to be holding strong at this point. Is that true? So you're like, are they just going to justify that decision and try to make it to where I'm okay with it, or what's going to happen here? I feel like you're worried about that, like they're going to justify the decision, and you're like, that was definitely not the right decision. Now, they come towards you, but I'm getting, again, hindsight's 20/20. They were in that freak out energy. They seem to be realizing not the best way to handle this. But they were feeling boxed in. I'm not going to go through that again. Now, these cards come together, I'm noticing. You have the Ten of Swords, which is where you started with. You got the Peaceful Resolution, and you have the Judgment in your favor over here on this other side. This is like opposite of them trying to make things up to you. And I'm getting that they're having this conversation with you. Is that happening? No. Really? That's not a conversation. What is happening? You're seeing things go a different direction. They're making things right. Because I feel like that's the precursors. They're doing nice things for you. I don't know if they're coming to it on their own or if somebody's coaching them to tell them they need to change direction if they expect to make this right. Somebody seems to be, I feel like there's a third party influence on your partner's side saying, you know what, can we change the direction of this? Like, that's what would really make this right. And I feel like your partner is like, yeah, I can. This is like after that ball landed type situation. I don't know if that makes sense, but something afterwards your partner's doing to rectify the situation best they can. That's judgment in your favor. You seeing that go the way the best way, I feel like it's kind of like best outcome for where it landed, if that makes sense. It's kind of like, I guess we're going to use a baseball analogy. If you were on first base and you needed them to throw it home, and they threw it out in the field, they're out there in the field and they're throwing it to third base to throw it to the pitcher to throw it to home, or however that's working. You know what I mean? They're doing the best they can for where it is now. And it may be depending on your situation, a little too late to fix it, but at least you see that they're like their intention, like it's almost like they're acknowledging the misstep. That makes a difference to you. If this works out the way I'm seeing it, even if it's like too little too late, the fact that they're acknowledging that, you know, this is how it should have went and they're trying to move it into position after the fact, that makes a difference to you. Because I'm getting things between the two of you get a lot better. Your partner seems to think things are getting a lot better. Your partner loves you. I have no doubt with that. Especially, I know it's the Sun card, but to me, especially when it comes in relationships, a lot of times this card speaks of a very euphoric love. This is almost somebody looking at it in the sense of like, I couldn't find someone better for me, even if I tried. Like, I'm lucky to have the person I have. That's kind of the energy I'm getting here. This is your partner looking at you. And I got a couple cards here. They're standing in the spot of the Hierophant with the improving health. Like, they are making the situation better. I feel like they're looking at it with the Hierophant in the sense of, like, certain things went wrong. They got to rectify that. That's kind of like the whip side here. Like, certain things went wrong and they got to fix that. If they do their due diligence, the situation can go better. Like, I feel like they're taking their licks with their like they want to keep the situation happy and healthy. They want you to know that they love you, and they're trying to rectify it. They're trying to rectify it, but they're also owning, like, they're seeing where, like, the decision they made caused the situation to be what it is now. I do feel like they're owning it. I'm just not seeing communication here, which is kind of concerning. But there's one face down card. The face down card is like, I do feel like they're seeing this go better. Why is this face down? I'm getting like the guy here, but just don't get caught up in the gender, but I'm getting like this person's taking it on faith that everything's okay. I'm still not getting like a conversation. I'm getting that this person's taking it on faith that the effort they're putting into correcting it that you're seeing is going to make the relationship between you and them heal. I'm not seeing a conversation though. Which I feel like what they're hoping is like actions speak louder than words, and that what they're doing is like showing apologetic actions without actually saying I'm sorry. I feel like they're still worried that you're not going to understand what was going on with them. I do feel like you can have a conversation about this. I feel like it would be good, but this is from an outside perspective. And this is like I'm seeing like especially when things go the right way, or at least even though it may be too little too late, when they look like they're trying to be corrected in your opinion, I feel like that's a good time to talk about this. Your partner, I don't feel like they're going to bring it up because they're taking it on faith that what actions are speaking louder than words, and you're going to be okay. You're still going to be happy with them. I feel like they're really nervous because they don't really seem to understand why they made the decision either. Like they realized it wasn't the best, but they were feeling so panicked and so pressured, they just made the wrong decision. And I feel like it's hard for them to understand. Is that true? It's like almost hard for them to understand why they made the decision they made. I mean, we're human. Everybody makes mistakes, but like I think people forget sometimes. Like when you're under stress, or even if you're under the weather and under stress, making rational decisions can be very hard. Is there anything else with this? Can we go to here? Okay. Now, I'm getting your partner's trying to make this up to you, even if it's too little, too late. It's still good, because I'm seeing like once you see that, that's like them acknowledging that wasn't the best decision. You have the Knight of Cups on your side. You're going towards them with a lot of love. You're feeling a lot better about this. You're feeling like you've been heard. I still think a conversation would be a good idea. You have to decide for yourself whether that's true. General read, of course. But I'm getting this is going back towards them, like you are showing love to them. This seems to be reciprocated. They have Seven of Cups with the King of Cups. They're feeling very, very good about this. They're coming back towards you. They have take action with the King and the Seven of Cups. Like, I feel like this is kind of like the situation is being rectified to them. Whether there's a conversation or not, I'm getting like in a love way, the two of you are coming towards each other. You have the Knight going towards them. They have the King and the Seven of Cups with take action coming towards you. I feel like the two sides are coming together here. I'm getting they're feeling like they're feeling they're forgiven. Whether there's a conversation or not, whether you say those words or not, they're feeling forgiven. And they're feeling like you understand about how they love you. I don't know if they really... I still think they might have a hard time understanding why they even made that decision, because I feel like it was in a panic moment. But when you go towards them, they reciprocate. I'm getting like there's a lot of joy here. There's a lot of like... It's almost like when you see all those cups, it's like all these possibilities are back at the table. They're very inspired. I'm getting this Seven of Cups is more things they want to do for you, because they want to make sure you definitely know that they're not just doing this just to appease. They're not doing this at all to appease. They're doing this because they realize that your feelings were hurt and they want to make that right. They want to heal the situation. I feel like they need to really. This needs to be talked out though to really heal it, in my opinion. But I feel like they're trying to do it with actions rather than words. That's just how some people work. I get that. You can bring up the conversation though, and I feel like this could be easier for both of you. Anything else? I think we got to it. I feel like we talked about it for days, but I think we got to it. Now let's do Cancer single. Hopefully I can keep some of my voice going here. I wanted to hold out a couple more days before I did more readings, but I'm just thinking this batch of readings just might not happen at all if that was the case. So, see what you can do. Hopefully you guys can understand me. From what I understand, I had to do some other videos. People told me they could understand me, I just sounded funny. So, hopefully that's all that's happening. Hopefully I just sound funny and you can understand me. Alright, now, Cancer single. Cancer single. Messages for single cancers, empowering information to help them move in a direction they want to go, help them see the truth so that they can use it to create the future that they want. Double card. Let's do these cards to match up with the cards already down to give further insight and empowerment to the people who watch to move the direction they want to go. Just the one. Yeah, go along with the rest. I have to say, I think this reading is good for you, the Cancer. But the other person might not be happy about how this works out. Page of Cups in the past. There's been a light romantic connection in the past with this person. A light one. Excuse me, I'm obsessed with my nose apparently. Now, I'm getting like it's like you like this person. There's been like a light romantic connection. I don't know what that means. And I'm getting like it depends on what you consider a light romantic connection. This should make sense to you, like maybe just friends, maybe just like maybe just very short intimate moments, not much going on. I don't know, a light intimate connection, a light thing. It hasn't been very intense in your opinion, but there's something there that you could acknowledge that there's a little something there. The thing is, I'm feeling like this was in the past and there was a light romantic connection, but this was the pinnacle of it. When it comes to this other person, it kind of peaked at this moment, and that was kind of it. Now, I'm getting this in the environment, the Ten of Swords. This other person seems to, they really want this to go farther. They're looking at the past like that's the first step in going up the ladder. I feel like you're looking at it like there was only one step and that's it. There's no more ladder. There's no ladder. There's just that's as far as it was going to go. It's just you didn't want to pursue it, and you still don't. Now I feel like this is coming through in your reading because this person's going to come towards you. You got the Knight of Wands here. I'm feeling this person's coming towards you. It might be through communication, and I say that because this deck does use Wands as air. I connect with them as fire, but I'm getting like they're coming towards you, and I'm getting like you're favorable to them at first, but I don't know if you're understanding where they're coming from. I'm getting this person's coming towards you, and you go from the Star to the Five of Pentacles, and I feel like you're inside this hovel. Is it a hovel? I don't know what you want to call it. That little hut, whatever. You're inside. Because when they're coming towards you, you're like, yeah, we can hang out. Yeah, that's fine. I don't think you're realizing what the intention of the other person is. And you're just being nice. You're just like, friends are good. Yeah, this person's a friend of mine. Why not? Why not? I don't think you're seeing it coming. Because I'm getting like, it goes from the Star card where you're kind of hanging out. It's good. They make their intentions known about what they want. And I don't feel like you mince words about it. I don't think you're mean. I feel like they're honest with you and you're honest with them. Like it's not, I don't know how to put this, because you're not just like being crude. You're just kind of like, they're saying, I think we should see each other more exclusively. And I feel like you're saying, I don't feel that way about you. And I don't know what would be, you're saying it in a nice way though. I feel like you're nicer to this person. I don't know. Sometimes I don't have the best tact. I'm just saying it that way. So you might be saying it a lot better than I would. Only because I'm not the best at tact. For what it is. And I feel like you're in this hovel. They're like walking away. They're feeling like, like the wind just can't come out of their sails. Now, I'm getting like they're coming back again. Which is strange with these two cards, in my opinion. The Hermit with the Page of Pentacles. I feel the Hermit they're thinking about it. They're trying to think of another way to win you over. And I feel like they're getting you to agree to like just go on a couple more dates with them or something, which is interesting because again, I think you let them down very nicely, very easily because you see them as a friend. But you're like, no, I don't see it that way. I'm sorry. But I feel like there's a little bit of a few moments where they're leaving you alone, the hermit. But when they're the hermit here over here, they're thinking about other ways to win you over, and I feel like they come at you again, and they're just kind of like, all right, I realize you don't want to be in a committed relationship with me, but how about we just go on a couple more dates just to make sure there's nothing there. I don't feel like you really want to, but I do feel like you relent to it because it's the person's. I don't feel like you're against the person. I feel like you like the person. You just don't want to be in a relationship with this person. And I'm getting, because you're definitely, you already know the answer is no. I feel like that's what's here in the angel card, saying you already know the answer here is no. But you want to be nice to the person because you see them in a friendly manner. This is your bottom card. This is taking a lot of strength to not give in, but not be mean at the same time. Because I do feel like it's starting to push you a little bit. Because I feel like you're getting a little to the point where you're like, I don't want to keep having to say no, and I don't really want to go along with this either. And I feel like you're getting to that point where why can't you just accept me telling you I don't want to do this? We're friends, that's true, but I feel like you're starting to get a little aggravated, even though I don't feel like it's coming out. But you are starting to feel like, I told you no, why can't you just accept that I said no? I just feel like it's getting a little aggravating for you. Now, one of the reasons they're telling me that you're kind of putting up with this person is nice to you. They're not mean to you in any sense. I'm getting that. If this is hitting with you, they're very nice to you. To you. And I feel like it's nice. They're respectful to you. I mean, if they listen to you saying no and they'd respect that a little more, that'd be helpful. But as far as it goes right now, you're kind of like, they're not a bad person. You don't want to be mean. You just don't want to be. But through this whole situation and where this is going to end up, I'm just going to blow it right out of the water. You have the Chariot. You don't want to be in a relationship, and you're looking to move away from this situation. You do not want to be in a relationship with this person. I get that over and over again. If this is hitting, you wouldn't be so reluctant. I don't think this other person is getting that. You're just trying to be respectful because you think they're a nice person. I'm not saying they're not, but the way this just kind of drones on, I feel like it's starting to grate. Now, you have 3 cards in the end. This one first by itself. The 3 of Pentacles. I feel like, you're looking at this like, you know what? All right, maybe there's something here that I'm just not seeing. Maybe they have a point. This is a good person. I do like this person. They're a nice person. I'll give it a shot. And I do feel like you hold to this 2, maybe 3 dates, depending on what you're looking at. Maybe you're going out, you're giving it to them, and you're giving it this chance. You're like, you know what, maybe. I don't feel like you're over the moon or I don't feel like you're overly convinced that that's the case, but you're like, well, all right, maybe, but there's certain, you're keeping it at a certain level. So you go through with that. But when those 2 to 3 dates pass, whatever you agreed to, you come back to the Queen of Swords with the 6 of Swords. I feel like after the 2 to 3 dates, you have a conversation with this person again. And I'm hoping this goes down the way you want it to, because the Queen will only tolerate so much. She won't tolerate a ridiculous amount of just appeasement. She'll only tolerate so much. And I feel like this is that moment where you're like, you know what? I just wanted to say, we've hung out a few times. I gave this a shot. But I have to be honest, I really don't see it that way. And it hasn't changed. I did give it a shot. I hope you understand, but I think we just need to be friends from now on. And I get the 6 of Swords is telling me you're you're putting some distance between you and this person, because at this point, I feel like the fact that you had to reiterate how you felt a few times, you're just kind of like, I need distance. I just need to have a break from you. Not that you don't like this person, just like you're just, I need some distance from you. So that it's where you're going to end up anyway. Now, I'm just getting with the Queen, like that could come off sharp. It all depends on how the other person receives it. Because if they try to give you pushback and they try to keep you going in the situation, I feel like you are gonna snap at him a little bit, him or her, they, whoever they may be. I feel like you're gonna snap at, you're gonna be like, no, I've told you. You know what? I feel like you might even go through it like this. We were together a little bit, very lightly in the past. I moved on then because I didn't feel it. You asked me here a second time. I said no. The third time you convinced me to go on these dates just to give it a shot, and I agreed to that. I'm still in the same place. It's a no. I'm sorry. The answer is no. I feel if they push back and they try to keep you going, you might get aggravated and you might snap at them unexpectedly because it's kind of getting to the point where you're like, I've told you, the first time it didn't happen because it wasn't there. The second time I told you no, and I thought that was the end of it. The third time you convinced me to give it a fair shot. I've done that. It's still no. I'm fed up with telling you no. I'm fed up. And I feel like that's why, if it comes off sharp, it's because you're fed up. And you're sick of repeating yourself. You're feeling like they're not listening to you. And I feel like that's a little offensive to you. Like they're not really listening. Is that what I want to go with? Okay. I feel like you're getting a little annoyed with it because you're like, you're not listening to me. If it was going to be there, it would have been there by now. It's not there. In this reading, I feel like it's heading that way. You could cut this off in the beginning when it's here. Like when it comes around again, this person's really nice to you, and then you find out what their real thoughts are, and you're like, I'm sorry, I don't see you that way. If you explain a little more at this point, where you explain to them that you have thought it through, and the feelings aren't there for you, and that's why you decided to move on, I feel like you could shortcut this, but it's going to take a little bit more explanation, and you definitely are going to end up really hurting their feelings, because they're going to end up feeling crushed one way or another sooner or later. They're going to end up in this Ten of Swords. The way it's currently going, the way I've explained it, I feel like they're ebbing and flowing in and out of it until finally you're just like, listen, it's a no. And then they're just face plant dirt like that person. I don't know, I guess it's up to you whether it's better to do that sooner rather than later. And I don't feel like you're mean, even if you do explain it to that point where it puts them right face first in the dirt. It's not your fault. It's not your fault how somebody feels. You might look at it in the sense of like, you know what, maybe if I just explain it out so they know where I stand, but I try to honor their feelings and just be like, I'm really sorry. If it was going to be there, it would have already been there. I have given it a lot of thought, and it's not there for me. But I want to thank you for being who you are. It's just, we don't match that way. You might have to get a little more explicit, but you could. I feel like that would be hard for you though. If this is hitting with you, but the only reason it would be hard is because this person is really nice to you, and I feel like you don't want to be mean to them. It makes you want to be as nice to them as they are to you. So you're trying to do it nicely this first time around, but I do get, if you're a little bit more descriptive on why it doesn't connect for you, they're more likely to let it go. Good? All right, I think we're done. Good. Thank you for watching. Of course, if you'd like a direct reading from me, go ahead and shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.